Hello, hello. Good morning. Good morning to all you shiny, happy people out there.
Happy, shiny people.
Remember that song? It is Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. Man, barreling towards 2026. I am Manila Chan. That over there is Ted Rall. You are tuned in to the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI Show for short, because we bring you way too much information. We do it live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So please be sure to hit the like button, the share, the subscribe, all of that good stuff, because it really does help the show. If you can share our content, that really helps with the exposure and the click numbers. We really do need that, especially with Rumble, because this is where, according to producer Robbie, this is where our live stream is going to live. Like real live, where we can respond and talk to you and whatever. If you want that, if you want our responses from the chat, you have to migrate over to Rumble because Robbie, I'll let you explain. Tell them why dollar for dollar we have to do this at Rumble.
Yeah, so a couple things. Our growth over on YouTube is kind of plateaued, and so what I'm trying to work on that is by stopping live streaming. It's going to help our analytics, so that way it'll push our regular videos, our shorts up higher. So that way YouTube will pay us a few more pennies. But kind of like what I said on Deprogram, for every nickel that YouTube pays, Rumble pays 98 cents, which is huge. Plus, if you are a channel subscriber here on Rumble for $5 a month, Ted Manila keep every dime of that. Rumble does not take a cut at all, whereas YouTube takes 40%. And then lastly, you also get premium episodes where you get really spicy and unfiltered conversations that YouTube would not allow. Let's just put it that way. And so, yeah, just go ahead and click that subscribe button down up under the live chat. $5 a month. You can get way too much information sometimes.
Yes, please do that. Thank you, Robbie. All right, so with that, let's head over to the show because we're doing a lot better with keeping our timing, Ted. I'm so proud of us. So we're gonna jaws everything.
We're addicted to talking the way that I'm addicted to popcorn and eggnog.
That was a weird thing I never knew about you, like popcorn and eggnog. Like,
yeah, I know.
Eggnog. Who likes? I mean, I get one cup at a holiday party, a Christmas party, but look, you would sit there and choose to drink it.
You don't have a craving for eggnog?
No, never. Like, I don't. There's nothing I want to just sit there and drink like endlessly. There's nothing or eat.
Really, nothing.
Nothing.
Wow. All right. Well, you don't have that addictive green gene. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So there we go. All right. Let's jaws it. All right. So as you guys know, the first thing we have to talk about right off the top is this whole Witkoff and Kushner at the Kremlin thing. I got a lot of questions. I mean, I'll read you guys the news first, and then I don't know if I have answers necessarily, more so that I have questions I want to put out into the universe because I'm trying to understand what's happening. But so here's the news. So as you guys know, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is due to meet with the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, in Moscow today. This will be Witkoff's sixth time. Count them, 6 times just this year. It's a lot of times.
He's racking up those frequent flyer miles.
He really is. Taking to the Kremlin in an embryonic, they call it, Ted, embryonic,
not fetal.
Yeah, embryonic.
Or blastocystine.
That's right. That's right. So, it's not necessarily viable yet. It's embryonic. So, go back to biology class, folks. Embryonic peace plan that Washington hopes can bring about an end to this ongoing nearly 4-year war in Ukraine. It'll hit the 4-year anniversary, Ted, if you can believe it, in February. So,
right.
A little over 2 months from now. I can't believe it's been that long. Coinciding with Witkoff's trip, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy, he went over to Ireland where he can blend in with the leprechauns.
He's a little too short to be a leprechaun, though.
He doesn't make the cut. He's too small.
Yeah, he's too small. It's like who's
leprechaun?
they're like, who's the dwarf?
He's got to go to like the Elf on a Shelf convention or like Beanie Babies and he's teeny tiny.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what rhymes with corrupt, but
you said
thief.
mensch on a bench.
Beef on the thief. I don't know, something. I'll think of that.
I don't know. We should also mention this is allegedly Jared Kushner. Well, that's what they say officially. Jared Kushner's
thief on the
first
reef.
time. So we put him out in the ocean?
Yeah, that seems like a good place for him where he can do
probably
little harm.
That's true. He could sit out on like one of Australia's big dying coral reefs or something.
True.
Thief on a reef.
Hey, it happens to be a place with a lot of sharks.
It's very sharky, I hear. In
it's
Australia,
everything in Australia is bitey.
It's bitey and
stingy,
from what I understand,
kicky,
meant
chompy.
to kill you.
Yeah,
everything in Australia is Australia wants to kill you.
Yeah, producer Robbie always says that about Montana, and that's probably not as true about Montana as it is about Australia. Because in Australia, even the koalas are mean.
Yeah, and they have syphilis. Or is it gonorrhea?
So yeah, don't be fucking the koalas.
Oh God, Ted. No, I wasn't going there.
It's probably illegal. I don't know. Australia has different laws. It might be totally legal. Who knows?
Oh geez, God, I hope so. But anyway, this is Jared Kushner's first time, not in Moscow, because I'm sure he's done like business deals there. But this is Kushner's
once or twice, I'm sure.
Allegedly his first time meeting Vladimir Putin face to face, at least officially.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really curious about that one, Ted. So after months of frustration in efforts to stop the fighting, U.S. President Donald Trump is deploying officials to get traction for his peace proposals. Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, I guess that's now an official White House title, will join the meeting between Putin and Witkoff. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters, he said that the talks would take as long as needed. So Vladimir Putin's cleared off his calendar today, Ted.
Well, he's a long-winded fucker.
He is. That's true. Like God bless that man knows history.
When you sit down with Putin, you're going to have to sit down and listen to some speech about like the
like 8th century Russian Empire.
Exactly.
You're like
exactly. If it's
just,
some Visigothian bullshit, yeah.
You just like nod along and you're like, yes, and sip your tea. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes,
totally like, oh yeah, I still have to pay my cable bill.
You're thinking in your head. Yeah, that's what's really going on when Putin, as impressive as it is that his memory, he's like encyclopedic
he's a very
memory.
Impressive man. I mean,
Oh,
yeah. You can see why Russians keep voting for him, really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that's like to have a leader that you're impressed by,
no. We're never going to know that.
Yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to have that experience. But anything that involves Witkoff and Kushner, an interpreter will be there on the U.S. side because Americans don't speak other languages. The Russians do. Putin, I understand, is a polyglot, speaks like 5 languages. English and German are among them. So why they don't just speak English, I don't know. I think that's a face thing, Ted. I think it's like, do you know what I mean? When I say like a face thing, like even though we know Vladimir Putin speaks English, you're on his home turf. I think that's kind of what it is. So you're gonna speak his language. I think that,
yeah,
you're gonna go through that extra rigmarole. I think it's a face thing. Anyway, so far, the talks have followed parallel lines with the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio sitting down with Ukrainian officials down in Florida, and now Witkoff landing in Moscow just about an hour or two ago. Zelenskyy said that he met on Tuesday, so the time difference. He met a little earlier today with the Ukrainian delegation that just returned from the latest rounds of negotiations in Florida. Rubio said those talks made progress, but added that there's more work to be done. Zelenskyy said that the Florida talks...
this is a slow process because I don't know why they're doing it this way, but I mean, normally if you're doing a negotiation, you bring the warring parties together in one room, and then you have an intermediary go and basically try to be like control both sides to soften them up.
Well, Ted, I think it's like an
like how
ugly
you used to
divorce.
be a realtor, right?
Yes.
And a car salesperson. But like when you're a realtor, you tell like the seller, your house is really like a piece of shit, and you'd be lucky to ever
You
sell
keep the
this
sellers
to some
and buyers
sucker.
in separate
You
rooms.
tell the buyer, this house is like, it's like the new
It's a
castle
gem.
at Versailles. It's the most beautiful house of all time. And you try to like, you'd pay like a lot more. You could be a bargain at twice the price.
Right, because you're the mediator.
And so, yeah, but that's not what they're doing here.
And never shall the two sides meet face to face.
But except at the closing, maybe. The Ukrainians,
right, maybe.
The Ukrainians have kind of been negotiating against the Trump administration, and then the Trump administration talks to the Ruskies and figures out what they can live with. But it looks like we're really getting close. It really does feel like it.
I really do get a sense of that. And Zelenskyy said that those Florida talks took as their cue a document that both sides drafted at an earlier meeting out of Geneva. The Ukrainian leader then said that the document was now finalized. So I don't know if it means that both sides agreed to this final draft or what that means. Or maybe it's something that's lost in translation. I'm not sure. Ukrainian diplomats are now working to ensure that European partners are substantially, is the key phrase, substantially involved in decision making, because as you know, Zelensky's regime is a puppet regime. He's not really in charge. It's first at the apple, first to bite at the apple is the US, and then the subsequent European countries like France, Germany, UK. So he's not really.
I think that the Europeans are deluding themselves. They have a higher opinion of their power here than reality.
Yeah. Totally. But Zelenskyy said that the Europeans are going to be substantially involved. And he said this on the Telegram, a Russian app, the Telegram channel, and warned what he said was Russian disinformation campaigns aimed at steering those negotiations. Because it's always Russian disinformation, Ted. We're still doing that. Just FYI, like 8 years later, he's still trying to make Russian collusion, Russian steering. He's still trying to make that a thing. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. Ukrainian intelligence will provide partners with information we have about Russia's true intentions and its attempts to use diplomatic efforts as cover to ease sanctions and block important collective European decisions, Zelenskyy said in his Telegram channel. Zelenskyy was meeting with political leaders and lawmakers in Dublin on his first official visit there. Ireland is officially neutral and is not a member of NATO, but has sent non-lethal military support to Ukraine. More than 100,000 Ukrainians have since moved to Ireland since all of this began. The SMO began in February of 2022.
Honestly, can you imagine moving from Ukraine to Ireland and then ever wanting to go back home again?
I know. So I wonder if this is like a temporary. No, what a different.
Ireland be looking great,
Like this culture here seems pretty cool. I kind of like it.
Beautiful. Yeah, the drinking's good.
That's what I hear. I've not been, Ted. That's on my bucket list for sure. Like I gotta get to Ireland.
Either, but we've all seen.
I've seen so many pictures, and I have Irish, like real Irish friends, who are not the Bidens. I don't think they'll be my friend.
The Bidens aren't even friends with themselves,
with each other.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They're psychos.
Like, no, they'll stick together, but they'll also like bash each other like a true good Irish family, Ted.
That's true.
Like a drunken Irish family.
I mean, Biden's drunk without even having a sip.
Well, from what I understand, in his younger days,
He knew how to throw him back.
My understanding, like leading up to him running for Senate, that was a thing.
I mean, Washington
a
is
young
not
Joe.
exactly a teetotaling town.
It is, it is not a very sober town.
No.
Let me tell you. So this week, the consultations could move the process forward. A few details are really public. It remains unclear how the envoys are going to bridge that gap between the two sides. European leaders who fear Russia's future territorial ambitions are trying to figure out how they can fund Ukraine's fight beyond this year. So Ted, and this is a summary of a New York Times, or no, an AP article, right? So when the AP is trying to say this and sound neutral, when they say trying to fund it beyond this year, Ted, the end of this year is upon us. What they're trying to be diplomatic in saying, yes, what they're saying is the Europeans are shit out of luck and out of money in 3 weeks.
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying without saying that. They're saying the AP is saying this in a very...
Because they're squandering all their money on military bullshit. I mean, literally, you literally have the president. We have several countries that have restored the draft, like Poland and Croatia. And France is sort of like talking about a draft light. And President Macron is even talking about like, oh, because of the Russian threat to France. I'm like, a Russian threat to France.
It's not gonna
by the time that were to happen, you would have years to prepare. Okay, I mean,
this is so stupid.
It's not. It's just.
I just can't believe that came out of Emmanuel Macron. Like, dude, we know that you're smarter than that.
College, he knows better than that. Yeah.
We know you're smarter than that. Like, why are you playing dumb all of a sudden? Like,
well,
come
you know
on,
what happened,
Emmanuel.
I think he got bitch slapped one too many times by his wife. And he suffered.
She knocked a few screws loose.
CTI.
That CTE. Yeah, that's true. And you know.
By the way, I have that rhyme for corrupt.
She could
for
look
Zelenskyy.
very strong.
Like the bench on the bench.
Yes.
He's the corrupt who stopped. Anyway.
Macron said that the coming days, quote, we will see crucial decisions between the U.S. and Western officials. Zelensky's visit to Paris followed Sunday's meeting between Ukrainian and U.S. officials. And I think, Ted, I mean, I can go on with this, but anyway, I think it's very telling that the only two diplomats, and I use that term really loosely because I don't know since when being the first son-in-law qualifies you as a diplomat to go on such a trip, right? But he's there. You know, Kushner is there with Witkoff.
Well, also, did I hallucinate this? I know we've always been at war with East Asia and we've never been at war with Eurasia. But I mean, wasn't there a period when Mr. and Mrs. Kushner had said that they weren't going to have anything to do with the administration, and that they
with the new one, that they're out from politics. They're
back. Yeah, what happened here?
I don't know. So that's what I'm saying.
That wasn't like I wasn't on a mushroom bender or something when that happened.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either. Jared just suddenly reappeared when the supposed peace broke out in Gaza, and now he's inserted himself into the Moscow talks. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't know that being the first son-in-law somehow makes you a part of the special envoy group, but here we are. And so now he's there, but I think it's very telling that Marco Rubio, that they told little Marco to sit down. He's the Secretary of State.
I know, it's his job.
They told him to
stay
your ass at home.
There's no sign whatsoever that little Marco knows how to do anything other than what he's told. He doesn't seem to have any initiative or any ability. He doesn't seem to have any negotiating abilities as far as we can tell. He doesn't seem to know how to do diplomacy.
Do you always see that squeamish look on his face, Ted?
Here. I think even Hillary Clinton was more talented as a statesman than he is. And that's saying a lot.
She's got bigger balls. metaphorically.
I think she knows. I think she just I just think. And by the way, she sucked. Okay, and she was a really horrific neocon bitch.
But you know she's ballsy. You got to give her that.
And I do think she probably was able to. Well, she had her own ideas about things, and some of those ideas were really bad. Like, let's destroy the nation of Libya, but let's kill Gaddafi after we made a deal with him to denuclearize. That kind of thing. And let's let it become a failed state where they restored slavery. But it was her idea, and she brought it to Obama. You know what I mean? Like, where's little Marco's ideas?
No, I think, well, remember, isn't he wearing two hats now? He's wearing two hats. Remember, Ted? He's still wearing two hats. He is, didn't he have to step in as NSA? No. Yeah. Was he National Security Advisor also?
No, he's not that. He's something else.
What is he? What Bolton? What was Bolton's job?
Whatever. We'll look it up later.
What was Bolton's job? Anyway,
NSA.
He's the first one. So
National
NSA
Security Advisor.
Is that Tulsi? That's Tulsi.
She's the DNI.
Anyway. Oh, DNI. No, so he is NSA. He's the first. Yeah, he's the first one since Kissinger to wear two hats.
That's hilarious. Comparing
Marco
him to
Rubio.
Henry Kissinger. Thank God Henry's dead, so he doesn't have to listen to that.
I know. You can think what you. I mean, people know I have my opinions about Kissinger, and we can feel how we feel about him. And you're probably right to feel those awful things. But there's one thing I could never take away from Kissinger is he was a brilliant tactician.
No. Evil as shit.
A brilliant man. Evil, but fucking brilliant.
Hey, listen, thanks US XXX A-Rod for the $1 donation.
USC.
He asks, why isn't there a bigger push for the UK to let go of Ireland? Is it just a grudge thing at this point? Look, I agree with you. I am completely pro-Irish independence. You only have to look at a map to be like, Ireland's an island, and the whole thing should be in that island. You shouldn't have a little nibble that that the Brits like bit off. And as long as the Irish can guarantee the safety of the Ulster types, the Protestants in Northern Ireland, which seems to be holding fine, the Brits should get the fuck out of Northern Ireland. I mean, that would under a Rall administration, that would be U.S. foreign policy.
Yeah, I hear there's like a revival, Ted, of a new IRA.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because the IRA got very, very little out of it. I mean, they signed a peace deal. There was no British withdrawal. They got some seats in the UK Parliament. That's about it. Big whoop. But also, Peter Ive, the French should be more worried about the looming threat from Flanders. Not Ned Flanders, but that's different. All right.
Oakley dokley. And USC, by the way, I believe that is a Trojan. A USC Trojan. I think that was the.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, USC.
But what's the XXX?
Fight on, USC. UCLA, boo. I have my reasons.
No sports opinions here.
It's not a sports thing. It's a who accepted me and who denied me.
Oh, I hold a terrible. Who do you hold a grudge against?
UCLA.
Oh.
No, fight on, Trojans.
I have a grudge against Georgetown.
You have a grudge against Georgetown?
Yeah, Georgetown didn't admit me. And you could say, like, big whoop, they don't admit lots of people. I was accepted to the U.S. Naval Academy. I was accepted to Harvard. I was accepted to Columbia. But Georgetown, which is, let's just say, not in that league, did not admit me. And I wanted to be an international affairs poli-sci major. And I served Mass, and it's a Jesuit school. And I'm Catholic, and I was a good Catholic at that time.
Is that what turned you against Catholicism? Because the Jesuit school?
No, what turned me against Catholicism is my girlfriend died, and I went to church, and I prayed, and I didn't hear anything back. That's what turned me against Catholicism.
Well,
so I'm not against Catholicism at all, actually. Culturally, I'm still very Catholic. But
I'm going to tell you, why I'm against, why
I just don't believe it.
I dreamt as a kid of going to UCLA. And that changed. So when you're 18 years old, you start touring these. So I was already 18 by the time I graduated high school. So when I went to tour UCLA, I met with, I don't know, one of these, what are they called? Like an advisor or whatever to like prospective students, you go meet with those people.
You mean
You
like
worked in a
wait? So you went to you met with a admissions officer?
Are they an officer? I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess maybe.
they're admission. Yes, they're.
Yes, admissions officer.
Yeah. Well, you met or an admissions clerk, or anyway, you met someone in the
somebody.
admissions office.
Yeah. So they met with me, and I didn't know. I was a young 18-year-old girl.
Was this your interview or?
No, I was just touring the school.
Oh, okay.
And so this admissions person, this guy, so he tours me around the campus
Well,
or
this
whatever.
is California, so it's an admissions dude.
It's an admissions dude. So admissions dude who's not very old, right? I was 18. He's probably in his mid-20s or an adult nonetheless, but still. And I was an adult, I guess. Technically, I'm over 18. But I didn't know any better. I was 18. So he's like touring me around the campus, and he's like, let's go have lunch. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking on the campus, right? But instead he takes me off campus to a really nice restaurant.
So he's hitting on you.
So I started getting that vibe. I went to a really nice restaurant called
And that's
Mr.
why you didn't get admitted.
And I think looking back later, I didn't know it then.
Well, frankly, putting out that one time would have been a lot cheaper than that lady actress who had to bribe to have her pay thousands of dollars to have her two daughters, to USC.
Lori Loughlin.
Lori
Loughlin.
Yeah, Lori sex one time, from whatever. Who cares?
But
if he was cute,
I'm some young, dumb, innocent 18-year-old girl.
No, that's
and
really
I'm thinking
wrong.
like, I didn't know that he was hit. I didn't know. I was an 18-year-old kid. I had no idea that he was hitting on me.
It's that realization that comes to you after the fact. Like, wait, so when that thing happened.
Yes. So when I didn't get in, when I got the turn down letter, I was like, I was crushed. And for years, I did not relate the two. I didn't connect the dots until I, had more experience in the dating world. And I was
honestly,
like,
like dating that guy might not have helped you get in anyway, honestly.
Yeah, but it certainly, I would say certainly played a role in not getting in.
It's true, having worked in a place like that like you can advocate for or against someone.
Yeah.
But
so
if they're on the edge, I mean, if they're not on the edge, there's almost nothing you can do. I've seen a few exceptions there where it's like someone who really just shouldn't be in the school gets in, but that rarely happens. It's more like it's all in the margins, as you can imagine. It's in the gray zone between this like the racist stuff that goes against Asians is always like, like she's she has a good GPA, she has good test scores. She's got the good letters of recommendation.
And they also basically told me there's too many Manila Chans there.
But she's boring because she's like, Asians are always, that's the cliche, like they're not interested.
Well, that's now.
Yeah.
That's what the university is saying now.
We used to be like,
even back then in the 90s?
Yeah, early 90s. We'd be like, this person, not about Asians really in particular, but just like, this is a boring candidate. Columbia didn't really have shit tons of Asian applicants, so that wasn't really an issue.
Yeah, we can have a whole show about this. Like, how much can you expect? How gregarious can you expect an 18-year-old kid to be, or a 17-year-old kid that you're interviewing? You know what I mean? Like,
or how about is it really like that kid's job to be entertaining to their fellow students?
Yes.
Like, like that person's so quirky. Like they have a 3.9 GPA from high school. But they're also in summer stock and also became the youngest state representative in Oklahoma history. And also,
and they do face tattooing on weekends.
Sculptor and heavy metal player. Like, come on. Yeah.
Right. And they cure cheese every month,
And seriously, and there's all sorts of stuff that you never find out about that really might make the person interesting. Like, they're funny. They have a great sense of humor. That's not going to show up.
Like maybe the fucking admissions person is asking all the wrong fucking questions. The admissions people really ought to be journalism majors, really, because then they might be able to ask some pertinent questions if you're trying to get to know a candidate to your school.
Also, it wouldn't be a bad thing to have some students who are actually like a junior or a senior who's at the school be part of the process, because it's like they're in the school and they know what contributes to student life.
Yeah, and you would see really what the student. I mean, anyway, that's a whole process of like the failures in our university systems. We can do, like I said, Ted, a whole show
100%.
about about this. Like you and I have been in and out of college, Ted. We have some experience.
Yeah,
I bounced
no.
around to several schools.
I did college. I did my 4 years in 10 years. So yeah.
Me too. I did my 4 years in like, I think a grand total of like 8.
I mean, it's not like I
Like
I
that.
only attended 8 semesters, but you know, there was a big
Right,
gap there.
no, me too.
Yeah.
Right. I was the same. I didn't finally finish
It's not
college.
like I mean, you know who I really
mid-20s.
admire are those people who nibble away at their degree, going part-time, like doing 1 or 2 classes at a time while they're working and taking care of their families. That's fucking amazing to me.
That was
Look
me.
at you.
I'd be gone for a semester, sometimes a year. Then I'd have
Mhm.
to re-enroll in a different school because the class I need for this particular program from school A wasn't
And that's
available. It's
follow-through.
full.
That's very impressive, Manila.
I mean, it was like sometimes I'd have to go to a junior college or whatever. But anyway, USC was the school that took me. I ultimately dropped out. Uh, there was a lot of
So
stuff.
maybe
a lot of
maybe
stuff.
UCLA was right.
No, it was because my grandfather was dying. Like I
By the
was
way,
watching
I hate
him
the
die.
UCLA
It was
campus.
horrible.
It sucks.
Yeah, it does. Well, the USC campus was difficult too. And having to
yeah.
ride the trolley and let me tell you, Ted, having homeless people jump on the hood of my car, spit on my windshield, and clean it with a newspaper. When you're 18 years old, you're like, ah! You're terrified. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I was a little.
In New York, at least they used
kid.
a bucket of dirty water back in the day.
This is downtown LA in the 90s. Okay,
disgusting.
people. So
yeah,
the homeless
people
yeah,
in LA have a particular grossness about them too, because they're all sunburned and craggy, like with giant like Grand Canyon like
very
marks
sweaty
across their face, very sweaty.
Very
because
sweaty.
their brains are baked from being under the sun all day, and there's
Dude,
no
it's
trees.
hot in LA.
All the trees are useless. If I ever became mayor of LA,
we don't have trees in LA. Please, come on.
LA needs trees. LA should plant trees all over the city. That's seriously, it would really help in a myriad of ways.
Ted, can I tell you a sad pet story? Because we love animals.
Mm.
When I lived in downtown LA, this is after I came back from Dubai. So I had an English bulldog because I love English bulldogs. Her name is Roxy. So she, when I came back from Dubai, I got her from my mom's house. She came to live with me in my apartment in downtown LA in my loft. And it was so sad, Ted. I would take her. She's used to my mom's house at this point, right? With a backyard and, grass and trees. And so I bring her downstairs to go
downtown
potty.
LA is serious asphalt jungle.
Yes.
Love those
Ted,
lofts, but yeah.
In the middle of the summer, she goes downstairs and she's like, ow, 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 to go walk on. I was like, oh, and she's like,
pausies.
Yes.
Did you did you get little boots for her?
So at first the first time that happened, I didn't know, and I had to pick her up and then carry her and she's like a 70-pound bulldog, right? I'm like,
it's a big one.
Take her to where she has to potty, and I, schlep her back to my loft, and I realized, oh my God, she's burning her paws, and I had to put aloe vera on her little paws. I'm like, oh, you poor thing, poor Roxy. So I had to go buy her those stupid bougie dog boots, and she hated them. But
Crocs for dogs.
But she was burning her feet. It's an asphalt jungle, like you said, and
it's fucking insane.
It was fucking awful.
I guess you just have to choose to, if as much as possible, walk her in the morning and the evening.
Yeah. So ultimately, I just couldn't do it, and I took her back to my mom's house, and I was like, she has to stay here, Mom. Like, this is not right for her. I'll just come see her every day. Like, this isn't right for her. She's a senior dog.
To the dog. All right, we're still on. We gotta get to story.
Anyway, yeah,
2.
we'll blast through. Well, let me.
Oh,
Robbie, do we have to do an ad? Oh, Robbie says we have an ad. Okay. Well, I guess we'll put that up and then we'll jaws it. Okay, but yeah.
Well, I can start reading. Well, it takes a few seconds for Robbie to do that. All right, here we go. So, federal regulators are sweeping.
Oh, wait, we gotta jaws it. We gotta jaws it.
Jaws. Federal regulators.
Wait, there's the ad. Oh my God. You got to read the ad.
Okay, well, I'll read it. Okay, you've probably noticed Rumble is growing fast and it's not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience with Premium. You get ad-free viewing across the platform. No pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops, and more from your favorite creators like us. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code studio at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium. Promo code studio. No ads, more freedom, and content you actually care about. That's the deal. It's $10 to watch anything you want on Rumble per month and $5 to just watch us. Okay, so federal regulators are sweeping through America's trucking world, and the fallout could be big. New federal audit finds that about 44% out of the 16, and it's a lot of schools, there are 16,000 recognized U.S. truck driving schools in the U.S., and 44% of them appear to be failing to meet government training standards. About 3,000 of these schools face decertification. They could become like Columbia University within 30 days, and another 4,500 are on notice. Without certification, these schools can no longer produce the credentials needed for drivers to get their commercial driver's license, otherwise known as a CDL. That means students will probably drop out and a lot of schools will shut down. The crackdown is part of a broad effort to tighten CDL standards, especially among non-citizens. There have been a number of high-profile, deadly crashes involving truckers said to have had improperly issued licenses. California, Pennsylvania, and Minnesota, and states like that are being threatened with federal funding cuts unless they revoke these licenses and overhaul their CDL systems. In California, the state probably that issues the most driver's licenses in the country, officials have already revoked around 17,000 CDLs that failed to meet the new vetting criteria. The trucking industry, which is already having trouble recruiting drivers. If you drive, you see all the trucks with their like, come work for our trucking company signs, now brace for disruption. By the way, that's a job, Manila, that I could easily have seen myself doing, and I still could. I love to drive. I know how to drive a truck.
Really?
I like to travel. I like being on the road.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
could
like being a
easily
taxi
see driving
driver.
a truck, easily. Now brace for disruption. Many of the at-risk schools are low-cost CDL mills that touted quick certifications. If they shut down, the number of new drivers could drop even further. Then you know what they're going to want then, Manila? The AI double tractor trailers. That's what they're going to want. Critics say that the crackdown punishes legitimate drivers, including legitimate legal immigrants. Advocacy groups representing immigrant truckers question whether the government is unfairly targeting their communities. Supporters say the shakeup is overdue. The feds say that safety is too important. With thousands of schools now facing decertification, state DMVs are scrambling to re-vet license holders. The impact could be big on freight, logistics, and everyday supply chains. So when you order something from Amazon, it might not come at all, or it might come late. For states, compliance with new federal standards is the bottom line. So the crackdown is upon us. I like this story because it is interesting. It works on a lot of levels. I have to admit that I had tremendous surprise to find out that you could be a non-American citizen and drive a tractor trailer commercially in this country.
This is a Robbie topic because you said non-American citizen taking American jobs, Robbie.
Yeah,
they are. That's what they are. That's why they're doing it. They don't want to pay Americans. I mean, let's be honest. Now, there's a reason why Trump is hiring H-1B maids to clean Mar-a-Lago. It's because that whatever. It's because that greedy orange buffoon doesn't want to pay Americans. He's there in South Florida.
Well, you said your local shop, right, won't hire kids because they have some migrants or something.
Yeah, they're the deli there at Smith's, the grocery store that I took Ted to. They've got these girls working there. They're from Jamaica. Well, it's currently 17 degrees outside with 6 inches of snow. They're hating Montana right now. They're hating life. And I say, go back from whence you came.
Go back to the Caribbean. So are they're legal immigrants, I imagine.
Well, they're guest workers because here in Kalispell, you obviously can't hire Americans to work in the deli. You can't do it. And working a cash register is simply just too sophisticated. That's a skill set that Americans do not have.
So is truck driving somehow better done by? I mean, we have a trucker shortage. Is it that Americans don't want to drive trucks, or
it's because they're not getting paid?
The foreign.
It's the South. Look, that used to be a pretty good job, and they've been cutting truck drivers' salary and making their working conditions worse and worse for years. And now I was shocked when I learned the amount of indebtedness that the average truck driver is forced to contend with. It's very reminiscent of like the farmers who are in debt for their equipment. You know, a big rig can easily cost over $1 million.
Yeah, because you have to lease the truck, and then you have to pay for the fuel. You have to pay for the parts. I mean,
the maintenance and stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's owned by the trucking company.
Yeah,
unless you buy your own.
You're an indentured servant.
But I mean, you lease it. You're on the hook for it. And so if you're getting paid 30 cents per mile, well, have you checked the cost of living lately? Have you checked the cost of food? Cost of diesel fuel?
And they get harassed by the fucking cops, and I mean it's crazy. So
I mean, Americans will do their work.
Well, the cops are going to pull over truckers and like taxi any professional driver, like a cabbie, before they pull you over, because they know you have to fucking pay.
Really?
Well, it's your job. What are you going to do? Not pay? You have to.
I don't know if I've ever seen a trucker pulled over.
Oh God, all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you need to get out of
careful, of course.
You need to get out of the suburbs a bit and go travel a little while.
Yeah,
go on the interstate.
Well,
go on the interstate. I mean, hell, you're in DC, go north or south like 6 hours. You'll see trucks pulled over.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Oh,
go out to the Shenandoah Mountains. You'll see.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I mean,
that's what
commute in the city, so I don't see,
that's what this is. Honestly, that's what this is all about. It's the reason why I'm so hard on immigration. It's not because I'm a white nationalist bigot. Ted knows this story better than anybody because I told him when he interviewed me. Immigration is used to drive down wages, and that's the same whether it's legal or illegal. That's why they do it. Like in Deprogrammed, when we were talking with Achilles, about one of the questions I had is, will Americans ever be able to buy a home again? And he said no. I cannot think of anything else that is a bigger harbinger of just civilizational collapse or political unrest than telling the domestic population that lives there, you have no future. You have no stake. You can own nothing. Meanwhile, while I'm telling you this, we're importing millions of other people for the sole purpose of driving down your wages. You tell me any other country, any other civilization on the fucking planet where they would say, oh, okay, do this, and then I expect any kind of backlash.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. I mean, I doubt you could find any country in the world besides the United States where you could drive a commercial truck and not be a citizen of that country. Seriously.
Really?
Well, do you think China lets that happen? No. Do you think that like Kazakhstan allows that to happen? Do you think Botswana, Vanuatu? Like, no.
Is there any other country in the world that would bring
into that?
Is there any other country in the world that would bring people over for 1,400 miles away from a Caribbean island to stick in the frozen tundra of northwest Montana to work in a deli because you don't want to pay some high schooler $16 an hour?
I mean,
I'll tell you, that's common practice in Dubai. Everybody that's like virtually,
this isn't Dubai.
I would say 8 out of 10 service industry workers, and I'm talking at your Starbucks, at your Top Shop, at the mall,
model, right? So basically,
they have guest workers from the Philippines.
Dubai is basically like a medieval country, economically and socially, and basically they have a system where they have a cast of a very big cast of royalty. And then basically those people don't want to fucking work, and they feel like we've got all the oil, we don't have to work, so we'll just have all the grunt work done by outsiders. They don't have the ability to hire locals because the locals all make so much money, they would have to pay them so much.
And people are probably wondering what kind of money the locals are making.
It's also Dubai's tiny, also, right?
It's tiny.
The United States is a vast country with massive population.
The locals basically receive a UBI, Ted? I don't know if people
Yeah.
understand this. That's the
Universal
best
basic
way I can
income.
describe it. It's basically a UBI
It's just like the
because
citizens of
it's oil
Alaska with the
rich.
old pipeline income. It's like that.
So everybody gets it's a nationalized
So that's
oil
different.
industry.
Yeah.
So
Like
every
But
local
there
gets a
are
basic UBI.
we have people ready, willing, and able Americans to do these jobs.
The reason why
Right.
the reason why Trump and the Republican Party are imploding right now, the reason why Trump's second term is collapsing, he ran on a populist message of economic revival.
Hmm.
He got into the office. The people who he brought in, Latinos, white people, black people, Asians, legal
Vote for him.
immigrants. These are people who he brought into this coalition, and he told them all, drop dead. I'm going to, and this is why Jared Kushner is in the White House. He's there to make sure that Trump stays on the Israel the line. That's what that is. That's what this is all about with him. Trump is in both the neocons. The people who got him elected, he said, I no longer need you. Fuck off. And the Republican Party is going to get destroyed in the midterms.
What I disagree with you about, though, Robbie, is the blame. Like, in other words, to me, the illegal immigrants or the people who are legal immigrants who are taking away American jobs, they're victims of the system too. And I don't think that, like letting people in, using them up, and then throwing them away like a discarded tissue, like this administration is doing, and abusing them and snatching parents while they're dropping off their kids to school, is like, it's unethical, right? I mean, to me, it's the policy that sucks ass and that needs to stop. Like, basically get rid of these H-1B visa programs, as long as there's a single underemployed or unemployed American, you don't import any foreign workers, period.
I agree.
But the people who are already here, and you invited, not me, you didn't invite them, I didn't invite them, but previous administrations, Democratic and Republican, invited them. I mean, it's like, you got to kind of like honor the obligations that, in the same way that, for example, if there's a revolution, let's say I get my communist revolution in the United States and I become the communist dictator of the US, my fantasy. I inherit the treaty obligations of the United States government. I inherit membership in NATO. I inherit all those things. And it's to my benefit. I should honor those things because it's still the U.S. and people have to know that no matter who's in charge, you're going to honor your obligations. And I think we made a promise. I didn't make a promise, but the previous owners of the U.S. made a promise to these people. You can come in and under stupid rules and work here. And so, I mean,
let me ask you guys this.
That's my beef. That's my complaint.
Let me ask you.
I disagree fundamentally.
It sounds like the blame thing is a separate part of the equation, but it sounds like both of you guys actually think that this is a good thing that Sean Duffy, the head of Transpo,
I'm worried about the disruption it's going to cause, of course, because it could really seize up the economy. Supply chains, as we saw during COVID.
Like so basically, you're saying we can't quit cold turkey. That's
what I'm saying. I'm against cold turkey shit. Look at the collapse of communism in China and Russia. Like, China segued over time,
let me
right?
Tell you.
But China segued, right? They slowly introduced capitalism over time, starting with Deng Xiaoping, after the death of Mao. And look at China; it's an economic miracle. They're kicking ass and taking names. Russia went with shock therapy due to the fault of the influence of the first Bush administration, and the entire fucking country collapsed.
It drove millions and millions into abject poverty.
15 years to dig out of the hole, right? So that's what I'm against. I'm against cold turkey.
Here's the problem that I have, and you can call it whatever it is that you want, but here's why I say that's wrong. First, with your analogy about a communist revolution. The whole reason why there's a revolution is because the government was doing things that were harmful to the domestic population to the point where they overthrew it. That includes the agreements that it made. So if it made agreements that hurt the domestic population, so if, like, for example, with NATO, how many billions of dollars do we send to Europe when we have an economic collapse going on right here in this country? So why should I defend Europe?
We should.
No, I'm not. Well, you just said we had
Not
to.
to
You
mention,
said,
no one's threatening
hold
them.
on, no, whoa, because you just said that we had to. You said you
No,
yourself,
all I'm
Mr.
saying is
Ted
that
Rall, said
you inherit these treaty obligations,
fuck
and you
those.
have to
No,
think
you do not.
carefully about
No, you do
like
not.
what you're doing.
No, you do not. And as far as immigration goes, Ted, President Ronald Reagan promised, he got Congress when he signed off on his amnesty, which turned California reliably Democratic for perpetuity because of demographic change. Just call it what it is. That was Reagan's thing. Congress promised to close the border. I am 49 years old. The border's still open. So why should I take on face value anything whatsoever that Congress says? Because they're lying to me the way they're lying to everybody else. No. If I had any faith whatsoever that they would actually close the borders and actually enforce immigration law, I would say, fine, let them stay here. The problem is, you keep pissing down my back and tell me it's raining. It comes to a point I'm not going to believe you anymore. That's why I say deport every last damn man, woman, child of them, granny, grandpa, cousin, doesn't matter. You all go the hell away. Goodbye, and you hire Americans, and then you restore the American middle class by driving up wages. You cannot have it both ways. This is not. There is no room for moderation here. It's either you're pro-American or you're not. I'm pro-American, unapologetic.
Yeah, but it's just the steps of getting there, and I think I lean more towards Ted's side because I don't see any middle ground here. I mean, Robbie, you and I are about the same age. We were kids and we watched this happen. At least I did on TV, you know, when the Berlin Wall came crashing down and the Soviet Union crumbled and supposedly the US won the Cold War. But then what it did to actual Russian people, Russian families,
Horrible.
it drove millions and millions and millions and millions of people into abject poverty and spirals of death. The life expectancy declined, their overall health declined, the maternal mortality rates jumped through the roof. People became barren. It became an abject fucking hellscape for people that were Russian. Wait, but let me paint that picture. Let me paint that picture. That's what would happen if we can't. I don't know how you could stand to see fellow Americans, millions by the millions, and we are 330 million people in this country. Let's assume 288 million of them are red-blooded, born American, right? Let's say 280, 250. Let's say
not that many. Not anymore. It's not that many. Half the population now.
No, I think it's more like close to 300 because we have 330 million people in this country.
Born here?
And 37 million are undocumented, right?
Yeah, because well, you got to think about the Immigration Act of 1965. I mean, that's a long time. They have chain migration. If someone comes over, they become a citizen. They then sponsor their brother and their sister and the parents. They come over. They do the same thing. Now, the immigrant population in this country is huge. And as far as the economic,
that are born here, like you're willing to plunge. You're willing to plunge easily half the U.S. population into a worse hellscape than they're currently living now, just to go cold turkey and go towards this harsh non-immigration policy. I mean, we're talking worse than the 1800s with the Chinese Exclusion Act, you know, with Wong Kim Ark, right? It's worse than that. This is not just saying you're the wrong color, you can't be an American citizen, even though you're born here, which is what the U.S. government told Wong Kim Ark. But you're going to go one step beyond that and say everybody, whether you have papers or not.
If you're an immigrant, you're gone in my perfect world.
And what I'm comparing us to is look at 1992 Russia. Just look at I mean, that's in our life. We were young, but I remember those images.
Okay, well, here's
People
the difference.
Starving.
Look, Manila, I was there in the 90s in the former Soviet Union. I went to Russia. I went to the former Soviet republics. I remember in Kazakhstan walking through a pedestrian underpass where the State Art Museum of Kazakhstan was selling off all of their paintings for 25 to 50 cents each because they couldn't keep the lights on. I mean, they literally, I remember people would set up lawn chairs at major intersections, and for entertainment, they would watch cars slam into each other and hit each other because the city of Almaty couldn't afford to keep the streetlights on, and there were no
Wow.
traffic signals. And then people would waddle out and then casually loot the bodies of the dead motorists and steal their money and then go back and sit down and count the money.
Oh my God.
It was so dangerous and so anarchic.
That's so
It's impossible to
dystopian.
explain. Remember taking a cab to visit a friend of mine in the suburbs of Almaty. I get out of the car. There's a corpse in the gutter. And I go to visit my friend. I'm with my other friend who it was his first time to Central Asia. We walk inside, and my friend goes, "Oh, we have to call the militia," which is the police. And me and my friend start laughing, and he goes, "He's never been here before." I go, "No, he's never been before." He goes, "I'm like, dude, you don't call the police when there's a crime. The police are the crime." Like, and he's like, "But that guy," it's like, "Yeah, no one's going to get him. Nah, he'll just rot out there. That's all that's going to happen."
And
that's what it was like.
But that's what would happen if we look. I'm not disagreeing that
Sure you are.
No, I'm not. Mass immigration. Now, let me finish my point before you tell me I'm wrong.
Okay.
I agree with your fucking point, Robbie, that mass immigration drives down wages. I fucking agree. Like, how much more can I tell you I agree? Where I disagree is the mode of getting all these people out. You go cold turkey, the American economy will collapse like post-Cold War Russia. People will starve.
Why?
Farms will falter.
Why?
Hear me out. Farms will hear me
on.
out. I'm trying to tell you why.
Tell
Shut up
me
and I'll
why.
tell you why.
Tell me
Shut
why.
up and I'll tell you why.
Tell me why.
There's nobody going to be there to work, Robbie. There's people. You're going to tell me right now, if you got rid of all of the immigrants at the Tyson chicken factory down in Texas, that you got rid of 400 people working there, that tomorrow or a week from now, that the Tyson factory is going to be able to hire 400 American-born, birth certificate American-born workers tomorrow.
Yes. If you pay them, yes.
They're not.
100%. Yes.
The company will fold before they start losing money on that. That's
then
what
nationalize
you're missing. You're missing the whole point of this capitalist
You're not
project.
making an argument.
We are living in a capitalist project. It's not, unless you completely overhaul the system to a Ted Rall, socialist utopia. The reality is and Ted, I think you'd agree, companies will fold before they start running in the red. They'll just fold. They'll just say, fuck it, I'm out. I've made my money. I'm out. You all can starve. That's the reality of a capitalist corporate society. That's where we live. So these poultry farms will just shut down. They
nationalize them.
They won't do it.
Listen, I will take a page
and there are
out
laws
of Ted
around
Rall's
that
page book.
too. And you can't.
Why not?
That's the
Why?
thing.
Hold on. No, you're
this is an eminent. You're gonna eminent domain somebody's company? Chicken farm?
So there is a law called the War Powers Act. Look it up. The War Powers Act gives the federal government the ability. Trump actually invoked it to seize control of a company during a time of national emergency. 100%. And you want to know how we get Americans there? I would pay them. And another thing, let's just assume, for example, that Americans really are that stupid and lazy, and they just refuse to work for $20 an hour to go pluck chickens.
Lazy. It's not what
then
I'm
what
saying.
you can do is that you can cut off the welfare benefits, and then you get people to work that way, because hunger makes people work. And lastly, I just say these. I'll make two more points. I'll go away because I'm wrong, but I'm going to be wrong at least in a belligerent kind of way.
Yes,
there's no better way.
So just two things here. One, if the migrants were such a massive economic powerhouse, why are their countries shitholes? If they are so great and innovative workers, and the human capital they bring is so outstanding, hold on, because you said we would collapse without it, but without the immigration.
I'm talking about our basic. I'm telling you the truth about I've been to these factory farms.
Mm-hmm.
As a reporter, I see who works there. I've been at immigration raids. I worked at the border in Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah.
I've seen this stuff firsthand. I know, and I'm from California, for God's sake. We're the farming capital of the state. If we didn't have those workers, I'm not saying forever, but for a while, there would not be Americans wanting to work there.
Manila,
Robbie, hear me out.
We've been waiting for them
If
to
you
hold.
hear me out,
Okay.
if you plucked out all the Mexican farm workers from the Central Valley of California today, at the very least, it would take months before you had enough labor, American-born labor, to fulfill
Why?
those roles and feed
Prove
the
it.
country.
Okay,
Don't
then prove
ask me
it.
why. I'm just telling you what
okay,
it is.
so you're making
That's what
a
it is.
case. I'm asking you to show me the data. Prove it.
And
Show
I'm
me the
telling
data.
you, I'm not saying
I know what you're
Americans are
saying.
lazy. I didn't say any of that. I said the fact of the matter is we will not have the labor to fulfill it and feed America,
Why?
and we will drive ourselves into abject poverty with millions of people suffering before we come out on the other side, just
Manila,
like we saw happen to Russia.
How
Just
far away?
like the same thing.
How far away
That's
is
all I'm
Baltimore
saying.
from you? How far away is Baltimore from you?
40 miles, 30 miles.
It's about a 45-minute drive.
And then would you say that the city of Baltimore, one of the largest, most important cities in the country, is in abject poverty right now?
It's a dump.
Correct.
It's a
Now
ghetto.
explain to me how immigration has helped that problem. Serious question.
I don't know
But-
what you're,
but-
but they don't provide us any food. They're not a farming. They're not a California Central Valley.
No.
So
but
what is
here's
your
the-
argument?
The argument that I would make is that the people who are stuck there, who can't get out because there's no fucking jobs, you could offer them jobs working in the Central Valley of California for $40 an hour and go pick produce. Guess what? They would take you up on that like today. And let's just assume, for example, that wouldn't happen. I guarantee you it would. Let's just
It
say,
would happen
again.
I think my point, Robbie, is that it would happen. I agree with you, but it would happen. But what Manila is saying is it
You
wouldn't
have to
happen
overhaul.
quickly. So, like,
It would
basically,
hurt.
let's say you just
People
go
will
tomorrow.
die.
Let's just say you can magically blink your eyes and you have like the vanishing, and all the illegal immigrants just disappear, right? I mean, so what happens first is that farmers are, these giant agribusiness companies are like, they're still trying to hire people at the same wages that they were paying before. Obviously, no one shows up. Okay, it's just like, and we all agree on that. So then, but they have to come to Jesus eventually. Some of them can't afford to stay in business, and some of them collapse. And during that period, what Manila is saying is there would be food supply disruptions, and that period could last quite some time until new companies with a new model who came to Jesus and agreed to pay people $40 an hour to pick fruit in the Central Valley. I agree that would happen. We all agree that would happen.
We're going to hurt.
Question, but it's about the how.
Okay, well,
That's correct. That's been my argument all along, and I've been saying that. I don't disagree that we can get there, but it's going to fucking hurt like hell for us to get to the other side of it.
But not if you do it like you scale it up.
It's been 4 decades. How much longer do we have to wait? Serious question. It's
been the same thing for 4 decades.
How long has it been?
Impatience is real. Look, the 1986 Immigration Reform Act under Ronald Reagan was a lie to people like you. It said like, oh, we're gonna legalize everyone who's already here, full amnesty.
Right.
But it's never gonna happen again. We're never gonna open the borders again. The end. Of course,
and
that
here
was
we
a
are.
lie. That was a lie.
Yeah.
So you're pissed off about that lie, so dig up the corpse of Ronald Reagan and piss on it. But the point
100%.
is but now it is what it is, and we have to fucking figure out how to deal with it.
That's right.
I just gave you the solution for it. And Ted, I'm surprised you didn't pick up on this because I'm taking a page out of the communist playbook here.
My favorite.
Nationalize those industries.
Oh, I'm all for that.
Take them over. Seize it.
Well, if we did that, we wouldn't
if
have.
the capitalists can't
then
do
we would
it,
not
then
have a problem.
fuck them. Then fuck every last one of them. Close the borders. Deport every single person. You explain to me why it is that the average price of a house right now is over $500,000, and first-time homeowners now are in their 40s before they even think about getting a house. And then you explain to me how in a huge continental nation like what we have, that's incredibly economically, culturally, and racially diverse. How are you going to hold that together if you keep shitting on the domestic population every chance that you get? The answer is
Robbie,
you don't.
Nobody, not Ted or me, neither one of us are disagreeing with you that there's a way to make that happen.
You're afraid of the pain.
I'm not. I'm telling you.
That's why pain exists. It's because we're
already hurting anyway.
Rational people are afraid
more
of pain.
millions. You will see more zombified, fentanyl type, crazy looking, zombie people out there because they are just who would otherwise not be high on fentanyl. You're going to see that all over the country.
Then invade Mexico.
We do
and
not need that.
Desperate.
So, I mean, no, listen, there's a solution to that problem too.
We don't none of us disagree with you that there needs to be a change, and that it can happen, and that there are modes and levers that can be pulled,
Robbie, we could definitely
to make it happen.
We could definitely, sorry, Manila, we could totally, nationalize these industries. Then we wouldn't have this problem.
It can.
That would be problem solved. I agree with you.
But that's not the reality.
Under
and that's not where
capitalism,
we're at.
which we're sadly stuck with for the foreseeable future. Because nobody's listening to me. I'm
listening to you. I'm on the right.
This system is going to, as long as this system putters along and we're stuck with capitalism, that's what the pain that we're trying to avoid. So, I mean, one of the problems with political commentary is that you have to deal with the world as it really is while striving for the world that you really want. And those two things are in conflict with each other.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, if there were not 80,000 Americans dying every single year of drug overdoses, and people could afford houses, if people were able to actually afford just the day-to-day cost of living, I have no problem with immigration at all. None at all. Of the three people on this panel, I'm the only one that's lost jobs to illegal immigrants, not once but twice. One of which, when my son was a newborn baby, picking
honestly,
fucking cotton.
Manila and I may have unknowingly lost jobs to illegal immigration as
well. I knowingly
did.
Yeah, you did knowingly. Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean,
maybe.
So whenever you're,
Ed and I stand to not get jobs in the future because of AI. So,
yeah, and that's another part of the problem, right? I mean, as AI,
same thing with the truckers. The truckers are going to be phased out because of AI trucks, and they're just
so as the number of jobs, jobs go away. Explain to me exactly, except for the need of a voting base, why you need all these immigrants in the first place. You don't.
We don't
throw them out.
No, we don't.
Go
See,
home.
I just say, like, look,
stop. Go home.
Admitting new ones, and if you want to do deportations, do targeted, measured deportations. You create a chart, and you're like, okay, let's say you're like this year, okay, 10% of all illegal immigrants are going to go, and you start with the worst ones. You know, the people who are costing us money because they're criminals and they're in our prison system, right? 100%. So why on earth do we have them here? Get rid of them. They can go home. But the point is, you do it over time. You also warn people, right? Like, I also feel like it's very different if you told someone, listen, you have 10 years to leave.
Like the girl at Boston College over Thanksgiving that was nabbed by ICE going home to visit her family for Thanksgiving.
I think a lot of these people are stupid too. I mean, I understand there are people who've been here for years and they had the opportunity to get legalized and they never applied. I don't even understand that mentality. Yeah. I don't understand having a green card and not applying for citizenship. Why would you not want all your ducks in a row? If I moved to Belgium, I would want to have everything fucking A-okay with the Belgian government. I don't understand. They're fucking dumb. But if you warn people, quit being retarded. Like, for example, the U.S. government is coercing the American people to get real ID. It's been a slow rollout. It's been like 5 years or more. And like now, starting next year, they're going to charge you, I think, an extra $35 fine if you fly. How much is it?
$45.
$45. And like, if you show up without a real ID, you've been warned, you've been told. Now at this point, I don't feel sorry for you if you show up without the real ID. You were told you needed it. I got mine 5 years ago. It's like, the point is that, like, it's like, that's how a proper government does things. But when you literally just change the rules and you pull the fucking rug out from under people, that's wrong.
That's it.
I lived in Brazil for 2 years and I could not get a job because the Brazilian government, unlike the American government, prioritized its people first. And I understand that. If I could have got a job there, I would have stayed there. As I loved the place. Absolutely loved it. My Portuguese sucks, especially my accent. It was terrible. But they took it for what it was. But the point is that I tried.
When in Rome, lots of Portuguese accents, though, because Brazil is such a huge country, right?
Oh, it is. There's also
tons of regional accents.
Oh, there's also a little town there I went to called Americana, and they had fly Confederate battle flags and stuff. It was founded by Southern veterans who refused to live under Yankee rule. Honest to God.
Cool. I love shit like that.
Weird.
Yep. There's a weird in northern Thailand. Similarly, there's a village it's a KMT village. It's they were Chinese nationalists who lost in 1949 to the communists, and they formed a village in exile rather than live under the communists. And it's a KMT village. And in Kyrgyzstan, there's Volga Germans who were deported by Stalin to the Southeast Soviet Union because he didn't trust them, and he moved them out there. And it's like you're in Kyrgyzstan, and it's like a German village. There's the flower boxes in the windows, and there's there's a brewery. It's just like, it's very strange. Go to the bar and drink the Steins.
Listen. I am not anti-immigrant. I'm pro-American, and those two right now, unfortunately, they are not mutually exclusive. At this point, you got to pick a side here, and that's where I'm coming down at. And I realize that I come across as being hateful and being a dick. I get it. I understand. In a perfect world, I would not be that way.
You don't blame the policymakers. Don't you feel like the policymakers are the ones who should be held to account? Not the poor slob.
Not the food vendor on the street in New York City
who comes from fucking Uganda just because he's trying to eat.
All of the above. If I had it my way, I would deport the migrants. I would hang the politicians. I would hang them from the first street light that I could find. Hear that, YouTube? I would fucking hang them because they're traitors. They betrayed their people.
Hang them based on what law, though?
Ignoring the law.
For being anti-American.
For ignoring the law. Like, for example, Joe Biden. We have immigration laws. Congress passes the law. You can, on the one hand, say that you oppose Trump's imperial presidency. Let's call it, that's what it is.
It is.
But then give Joe Biden a pass when he did the same exact thing by ignoring the law. He's the executive. His job is to enforce the law. He did not do that.
Yeah, it's happened. It's been so long that we forget what that standard looks like. But for example, when Thomas Jefferson, who obviously is more responsible than any other single human being for the system of government that we have now, when he was president and he wanted to take on the Barbary pilots who were attacking American shipping in the southern Mediterranean, he could have sent the troops without invoking Congress to get the right to do that. But he was like, this is the first time this republic has had to do this. I want to make sure it's very clear that the president has to go to Congress and get this approval. Even though it was a pain in his own ass, he was like, these are our laws. I have to follow. I have to follow proper procedure. We don't have presidents like that anymore.
And that's
anybody that follows procedure, or else James Comey's indictment would still stick, or Letitia James's indictment would still stick. Nobody follows procedure.
Well, forget procedure. I mean, just the law itself. I mean, but to answer your question, Ted, listen, if I grew up in Haiti, if I was a Haitian and I ran out of dogs and cats to eat, 100% I'm going to go to Ohio to eat dogs and cats. I get it. I understand.
Ohio has the yummiest dogs and cats.
Listen, I get it. I understand.
It's a specialty.
But the problem is, though, is that people treat immigration like it's victimless. It's really not. It's economic warfare. It's just like the whole drug trade. People say, oh, well, that's not an act of war. Of course it is. Ask the Chinese how the Opium War was. There's a reason why the Celestial Empire fought the British and lost. They at least stood up and tried. I mean, we lost 80,000 Americans in 12 years of war in Vietnam. We lose that every single year here in this country, but no one cares. Manila, you're talking about economic collapse. Oh, those poor Russians. Look what happened to them in the 90s. Go to Chicago. Go to Detroit.
And it's going to get worse than that and spread, is my point.
But it's already happening.
I'm from an inner city.
But it's already happening. But that's my point.
But it's gonna spread far and wide. Is
my only
point. It
already is.
It's not.
Miller, you come here, Ted. You were here at Columbia Falls. What did that town look like?
Well, it was
hollowed out.
It was absolutely gutted. Like basically, there's nothing going on there, and it's hard to see how anything will be ever going on there.
Like my point is,
and it's a very cute town.
Oh, it is. It's a gorgeous place.
An extended period of complete devastation, and I think that's something that's avoidable if you slowly transition. In fact, let me bring up a hot topic, that we can tie this in. It's analogous to, you can't be John today and Jane tomorrow. It takes a while to transition. Real transition. I mean, sure, you can put on a wig, you can put on some lipstick or whatever. But if you're going to really transition from John to Jane, it takes a while. You got to do the hormones. You got to get, then you got to trim down the Adam's apple. Then the hormones kick in. Then you got to get the boob job. Yeah, I know somebody that I grew up with that it took years for him to transition to her. And I watched it. And like I said, sure, all it took was one day,
it's
a year for hair to grow out and for you to put on lipstick and false eyelashes. But for that friend of mine to transition fully from biological male to female, it was a long, painful process.
And it took years. I can't wait to see how you pull this together. Go.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying is it's a long, if you want to transition from what we live in today to what Robbie is saying, pull the rug out from everybody.
It's been 40 years.
It can't. 40 years of the same status quo. Robbie, you're missing the point.
No,
40 years of the same. Yes, you are. 40 years of the same status quo. You keep saying 40 years. We haven't been in transition for 40 years. It has been the same thing for 40 years. That's what you're missing.
No, I'm not missing it. I'm living it.
To stop it, you gotta slowly take the hormones.
Okay, so I think Robbie, here's a question. This is totally theory, but let's just say what you're worried about is like the Who song, "Don't Want to Be Fooled Again," right? So the question, let's just say there was a way to guarantee that there's
pain's going to happen anyway.
Well, let me just finish. Let me just say there's a way to guarantee that over time, you're going to deport everyone who's illegal. Let's say over 10 years, or 20 years or whatever. But the point is, there can be no way to change or reverse or halt that policy. Like that's going to happen. That's baked in stone.
Right. After you snip it off,
you're not going to get a new election and a new president. President Mamdani comes in and says, "No, we're not doing that." That can't happen. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, but the problem is though, it's never going to happen because
the Republicans. All right, so I just want to. You see why I'm asking that question?
Yeah, of course. Right.
So that's what this is about. Your concern. The reason you want it to happen all at once is because you think it's a one-time chance to do it. So when you have that chance, you got to grab it because you're not going to get it again.
You grab it by the throat, and you grab it, and you don't let go. And as far as your transitioning analogy, sorry, Manila, if you chop off your dick, you're still a guy. Sorry.
I'm saying you can't put your dick back on once you.
Jesus Christ.
No, your chromosomes are still there, and if you're either an American or you're not.
Robbie,
if you come here illegally
on this, I'm talking about the analogy is you can't even pass off the best lady boys in Thailand, and I've seen some amazing ones, like really where I'm like, God, I wish I was as beautiful as that lady boy.
You're literally like,
gosh,
I'm a heterosexual dude, and these are hot ladies, no question.
Yeah, and I'm like, but
and that doesn't normally happen. Let's be
overnight. And that's my point. It's analogous to that. Is there's going to be pain, and if you can avoid driving tens of millions
Manila,
more people,
you do have to address Robbie's extremely legitimate concern, which is, and I don't have a good answer for it. Maybe you do, which is, how do you say, okay, so how do you deal with the thing that's like, okay, we're going to do a 10% reduction this year and next year, but then Trump's gone, and then we get President AOC, and then the policy's reversed, and we're right back where we started. How do you address that concern?
Well, it depends. Are we talking about a policy? Or I don't have the answer, obviously, but are we talking about a policy like an executive order that the next president can flip? Or are we talking about a full congressional vote on
Even if
law?
It's a congressional vote, Congress changes. I mean, next year, the House of Representatives will almost certainly go Democratic. I mean, the elections change.
It becomes harder. It becomes harder to flip when it's a law, when it's codified, which is why people were pissed off about Roe not becoming codified when Obama had all of those years, right? So it's the same type of thing. I don't have an exact answer, but we all have to agree at a fundamental, from the DC level all the way down. And that's why I say it's not going to happen, from the politician level here in DC all the way down to the people that run the corporations, the Larry Ellisons and the Elon Musks. You have to all get them to agree that this is fundamentally better for the future of this country. But you're not going to get that. That's why I'm saying we have to live in a reality, And the reality is,
And by the way, this is
we
why
can't just
revolution is
rip
so
away.
great.
Then the reality
Revolution is great because it's like a more extreme version of what I said, where suddenly you have an opportunity to make big fucking changes all at once. That's why revolution's appealing.
And that's the problem, is because, Ted, I think you're going to get the revolution that you want a lot sooner than what people are willing to accept. And it's going to make the French Revolution look like a walk in the park, because this country is so huge. It's so big. It's so balkanized, because revolutions generally turn into civil wars. Civil wars generally break down along ethnic and religious lines. So think about how big this country is, with what that's going to entail. I don't know how you put the country back together after that.
And that's a problem, right? Because like Napoleon, who came in obviously 10 years after the French Revolution, he knew that he saw how brutal that was. And that's why he strove above all else to create a highly centralized country, right?
Yeah.
That's what the Napoleonic Code was about. And France is a highly centralized. If it had a revolution now, it would not be as bloody as that, because of, a lot of those divisions have been mended by centralization.
But now the United States would be, because think of how many people we brought over, and how many of those people actually have an allegiance that say, I am an American, whatever that means anymore. No one can even answer that question. If this thing just all falls apart, you're going to have the Somalis in Minnesota fighting for the Somalis. You're going to have the Haitians in Ohio fighting over who's going to get to eat cats. You have white people like me going out there just shooting everybody that looks different. The black people it's going to devolve into ethnic conflict. It's going to, and that is my dread. I mean, people laugh about it.
Bad. No,
but I mean,
I agree that's the way things would go. I studied, as you know, I always talk about Robert Paxton, who, by the way, Robbie, you should really read The Anatomy of Fascism. If I find my copy, I'll send it to you. But it's a great, great book. And Robert Paxton is literally the nation's leading expert on fascism and what happens. And he's always said that the United States is the country most likely to become fascist, and that it would be completely driven by these ethnic and racial divisions is how it would all go down.
Of course it would be. That's the whole point.
Well, we got to wrap it up, though, because we're way over, and we only did 2 topics. We're going to have to punt on the other two topics that we had in mind, because it's way over. We're not going to solve the immigration thing, but I just thought the trucker story was interesting on a lot of levels.
It's
because
so interesting.
We rely on trucking for all of our daily life, because
we've also gutted the train system, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yes, but that's a different conversation. But trucking itself is gutted, and now Sean Duffy is like, okay, I'm going to strip away all the licenses for these trucking schools, and then, like Ted said, the disruptions everywhere. All the crap that you buy at CVS pharmacy or the grocery store, whatever.
Honestly, this is it's a government sanctioned full-time job. You should have to be a citizen. I'm sorry, it just should be.
No, I agree. And one thing, just a quick little programming note, because the Rumble, they've come up with a new requirement where to stay in the creator program, you got to raid a channel at least 5 times a month. Right. And so what I'm going to do, because like Ted Manila said, keep it in the family. We'll be raiding the Putin Bot Gaming stream, which is my channel. It'll take me a second or two to switch over. If y'all would just stay there and then just leave a comment.
Stick around for a minute.
Yeah, just leave a comment in the live chat when the stream starts. That helps me out.
Drop an emoji.
Even if it's just like fuck Robbie.
Yeah.
Even if you're like fuck you, Robbie. That's you can stay on just to
for sure.
To
because
say,
hey, I'm on
Rumble.
Rumble.
Robbie, or but stay on. And because if it helps Robbie, it helps us, because he does all the back end stuff.
We need Robbie to do well.
We need Robbie to
help
TMI and deprogram. So.
Well, I got to rate somebody for TMI, and it may as well be me instead of just some random person who we don't know.
Yes. No, I agree. We be like the Whitakers on this show, America's most inbred family. Keep it in the
family. Family style.
Yeah. I'm from the South, so for sure.
All right, guys. It's a pleasure.
See you guys tomorrow.
Thank
you.
Mañana. Bye.
Bye. Stick around for Putin Bot Gaming.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll be
keeping here in a minute. Seconds.